Yo, what's going on? Next up, we got Honest Game Trailers Dying Light 2. Now that I have finished the game for myself and watched all of the endings for the game, I would like to see what these guys thought of it. Because I already said in my review, could have been much better. It could have been one of the greatest if it didn't have that many bugs, as many bugs as it did. But we'll look past that.
In a world where a global pandemic has reshaped society, leaving people to constantly fight one another for limited resources, and every day is another struggle to survive, you can also play a video game called Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2. Stay human. Experience the sequel to Dying Light, an awkward but somewhat promising game about surviving when parkour was all the rage, to the point that it felt like it was in every video game. Parkour! That attempts to make up for the fact that it's approximately the 4 millionth game you've played about zombies by being so crammed full of garbage to take up your time that doing it all would take 500 hours. Which is kind of like saying, hey, the DMV is boring, but at least you'll be there for 17 days. Leaving the demographic for this game as people with Alzheimer's.
That whole it'll take 500 hours to do, I knew that was bullshit from the start. Like, the second they said that, I was like, stop trying to make it seem like y'all have 500 hours worth of shit to do. Like, y'all not like that, all right? Y'all not like that for real. If anything, it has like maybe 70 to 80 hours of actual things to do, and then the other couple hundred hours is just collecting shit and fucking doing stupid combos. Fucking one of the trophies was the double wall bounce and then drop kick us out. I'm like, man, shut your goofy ass up.
And huge fans of first-person platforming.
What are y'all talking
and
about?
Honestly, if I had to choose between the two, give me Alzheimer's. Take on the role of Aiden, a man whose goal in life is to prove that white men can jump. A protagonist more bland and flavorless than eating a bowl of plain rice with COVID. As he runs through the rooftops in the day, completing story missions, while zombies deal with their social anxiety, and scavenging buildings at night while the zombies are out at the club or whatever, where instead of encountering more terrifying and powerful enemies like the first game, your nocturnal emissions will mostly be gated by an on-screen timer that will force you to crouch in a room full of blacklights for 5 minutes like a college stoner every time you were having too much
It wasn't
fun,
that long,
which occasionally
bro.
makes for some edge-of-your-seat nail-biting gameplay, but mostly just feels like having a curfew. But Mom, I've been super good. Just let me beat a few more animated corpses to death.
Yeah, I won't lie. Majority of the exciting moments were forced. Like, I had to do something specific to make sure it happened. Like, it didn't just happen. Like, in order to reach chase level 4, you had to like literally let the niggas catch you and then just stand around and wait for them to show up, and that's how you can get like exciting or funny clips. But my nigga, unless you're like straight ass, just pure garbage at the game, there's no way you can really like get chase level 4 and actually not be able to find like a safe house, because them shits were everywhere. So everything was like, the game was almost too easy and like predictable.
Leap from light post to rooftop in the parkour-packed gameplay that Dying Light is known for, where you'll spend countless hours recreating the daily commute of the average Frenchman, I assume, and only occasionally misjudging a jump and throwing yourself 200 feet to your death. In first-person platforming that defies video game tradition by not being absolutely terrible. At least if you don't mind playing like 20 hours to unlock the fun parkour abilities first.
Dead
Omar
ass,
has
bro.
1 million objects that you could clearly climb on if you just sucked a little less. In a stretched-out progression that assumes you're going to be riveted by this thing for months of your life, and not refunded in the first 2 hours because you need to spend a bunch of skill points before you can wall run. You know, if I wanted to slowly get fitter and more athletic over time, I wouldn't be playing video games.
Just work out, nigga. It
Slide
literally
your way
takes
through the
forever to
stick
level
fighting
that
that
shit
is
up.
Dying Light 2's combat, where you'll wail wildly at the heads of anything unfortunate enough to cross your path, in traditionally awkward Bethesda fights that barely changes from the beginning of the game to the end, that can occasionally be nail-biters with dangerous foes, or simply an absolute ass ton of them, but that you'll mostly trivialize by being way too high level because you just did 40 side quests, or just by strapping a grenade to the end of a hockey stick or whatever, as you end up mowing down hordes of zombies like you're Bruce Campbell. until they feel about as frightening as a litter of kittens. Or fighting groups of humans who take you on one by one like you're in a kung fu movie. In a combat experience that quickly becomes a road nuisance on your way to your real goal. Checking another box on a list to briefly convince your dumb monkey brain that your life...
All right. There were some times where I was getting jumped. Like sometimes when I would block, I would get punched in the back of the head. So the whole getting attacked one at a time, that ain't entirely true. But it definitely was never more than two. And he is right about them just being annoying.
Video games. What would I do without
After you get mid-game.
Probably develop meaningful skills. Ugh, disgusting. So pick up all the trash around you and get ready to beat 1 billion zombies to death. In a poignant metaphor for how the film, television, and video game industries have beaten the concept of zombies into the ground, to the point where the mere mention of them fills the gamer heart with ennui. And also, I guess it's a competent video game if you can get past that and the fact that it's also yet another massive open world. Honestly, if that combination of things still excites you, your brain should be preserved for scientific study after you die.
Who the fuck is that?
Starring, jumping.
Who was
jumping,
that? Oh, it's not Lawan.
Jumping. Ahsoka run up a wall. More jumping. Jumping. And a bunch of other characters. Probably. I don't know. It's been like 30 hours since I did a story mission. Dead Island 2. City. You know, at this point, if you told me Zombie Open World was one of the Rings of Hell, I would believe you. Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice in the comments below. May Arceus have mercy on your soul. Let's warm up by giving this guy a smoothie blend of kale and punishment.
I mean, hey, a lot of the shit that they were saying wasn't wrong. But I already went into detail about what I thought of Dying Light 2. Let me know what y'all thought of the game. And if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you all in the next one.